at the Red Cloud event and talk to you a little bit about Global Atomic Corporation. I don't know, maybe some of you know the company. It was started in 2005. I incorporated it and went to Niger, and the same year picked up some concessions and started exploring on the ground in 2007. So the company has two divisions. One is the uranium division. That is the one that's really driving the value. And then we have a zinc recycling division in Turkey. We merged the two companies in 2017 because post-Fukushima there was just no equity out there. The uranium was a bad word, and we wanted to keep things moving in Niger. And the cash flow from our zinc operation actually helped us fund the development of our Dasa project. So what we do in Turkey, just briefly, is we take waste from local steel mills, we recycle it through a kiln, we produce a high-grade zinc oxide concentrate. Glencore is our big customer there, and in 2019 we rebuilt that plant. So it's a brand new facility there now, $26 million US project, and it paid out in less than 2 years. Dasa project. So this is a discovery we made at the end of 2010. At the time, it was something looked very significant. We did a lot of field work in the region. We came across a blowout, so to speak, a leak that came to surface, and it was running at 30% uranium. So that's something nobody had ever seen in the region. It's akin to what you see in Athabasca. So we started doing some exploration. It looked like a very promising potential there. And JP Morgan led a financing to put $25 million in at the time with Macquarie Bank and Investec. And with that, we put 8 drill rigs on the property, and we drilled off a very large high-grade uranium deposit. So this picture here you see, that's our opening blast in November of 22. And since then, of course, we've done a lot more work. This was well attended by the government, various other parties, but the Prime Minister was there, the Mines Minister, the Governor. It was a very exciting day. We're located in a uranium basin similar to Athabasca's basin here in Saskatchewan. It's called the Tim-Mersoy Basin. And that's where all the uranium has been produced in Niger over the last 50 years, primarily by 2 Orano mines that you see there, Somer and Cominac. So we're in an area that has good infrastructure, good roads, power lines, labor force. So we're between 2 centers, Agadez and Arlit. Agadez is the second largest city in the country after the capital, Niamey. And our projects are there. You see the Dasa deposit, Issyk-Cannon, and then down below Tinigaran. So Tinigaran and Issyk-Cannon are lower grade. Issyk-Cannon is a couple hundred meters down. Tinigaran is right on surface, open pitable. Both of them need to have more work done on them to bring them up the curve. The thought was we would not do a lot of work on those right now until we get Dasa up and running, and then eventually we could supply feedstock to the Dasa mill from those other 2 deposits. So we have a bit of a pipeline here. CNNC are the other big player in the region. They built a mill at Azalik. They produced uranium there, and they're back in country now trying to restart their mill. They shut down during a period of low uranium prices. So at a glance, Global Atomic, we're the highest grade deposit in Africa outside of Athabasca Basin, or globally. Our mining began in November 22. Financing the process plant, that's a big nut we have to crack here, and we have 2 banks working on that, the EDC out of Canada and 1 US bank, and we're supposed to go to credit committee in April, so next month. So all the work has been done now, all the diligence has been done, etc. So in April we should have a credit committee decision, and the banks are telling us by June they will go to their board to approve that project financing. So the deal with them is that they would put up 60% of the capital required, and we would put up 40%. We've already started signing offtake agreements with utilities, so we have 3 signed now. They're all U.S.-based utilities. So America is really supporting this project. Their nuclear industry is really going through a bit of a renaissance as well. Most of the reactors in the U.S. have now applied for extensions to their life limits from 60 to 80 years, and there's a lot of work progressing there as well with SMRs. So we have some more news coming out very shortly. It's an updated feasibility study. So the one that we built the mine on so far is one we completed in December of 2021. So since then we've done 16,000 meters of drilling to really tighten up the drill spacing and move inferred to measured and indicated so that we can include that in the updated mine plan. So we really focused on areas zone 2 and 3, which you'll see coming up, and that should come out actually in the next week or so. We're expecting an increase in resources, or reserves actually, and a longer mine life. Of course, all of the costs will be updated as well. So clearly, since we're already developing and mining, the permits we received some time ago, and commissioning is expected on this project in Q4 2025, so Q4 next year, and first deliveries to utilities starting in 2026. So you see this cartoon here, the red box is the phase 1 area, and that's really a leak from that area came to surface, and that's pretty much what drove us to this deposit. It's in a down-faulted graben, so most of the deposit was hidden except for this small outcrop. And that's why nobody ever found it, even though there's been a lot of exploration going on there for many years. So this is the way we view it, is that the phase 1, that was our feasibility study, that was about 20% of the deposit. This next feasibility study, I would say, is going to be phase 2, and what it's doing is getting into those lower zones there that you see in yellow and blue, and then we'll be working as well along strike. The strike length on here is a couple of kilometers. It's still open on strike and down dip. Eventually we've got some surface lower grade mineralization we could mine with open pit. So that first phase was a 12-year mine life. So you can see here on this slide, in 2019, that's what our feasibility study showed. All the blue areas were converted into mineable reserves. All the yellow areas were inferred. So the next slide you see there beside it on the right, 2023 mineral resource, that's where we targeted our drilling in that zone 2, zone 3 area. And so that's what's going to be adding to the extended mine life. We still have a lot of inferred to drill. There's over 50 million pounds of inferred grading over 5,000 ppm. So we want to do the next round of drilling and then update the feasibility study again. This gives you a little bit of a shot, and this is of course all on our website as well, but you can see at a 1500 ppm cutoff, our grade is about 4900 ppm for the indicated, and inferred is 5300. So in total we've got about 160 million pounds here. Not all of that immediately gets converted into mineable. You have to do more work with the drilling and assessment. But you can see this is a very robust deposit, and depending on what the uranium price is doing, we can scale the cutoff grade to suit the market. We did our feasibility study, by the way, at $35 a pound. The new feasibility study we're doing at $75 a pound. And that's really the term price right now. So back in 2021, $35 was the going price. Of course, we raised the price now for the updated study. So our highlights from 2021, you'll see the $35 a pound numbers in gray. After-tax IRR was 22%. But now at close to $100, it bumps it up to 99%. So right now, just to let you know, generally, I saw a slide that one of the big brokerages produced the other day, and they had the average uranium price value in the ground for all the uranium developers and producers, and it was running at about $7 a pound in the ground as an average. Ours was down around $2 to $3 a pound. So because last year we went through 2 earthquakes in Turkey, and we went through a coup in Niger in July, our share value was just hammered. It went from a high of over $5 down to $1.28. So it provided a good entry point for people that thought they missed it on the way up, and it still hasn't recovered that value. But as we continue to move things ahead, we are de-risking the project and increasing the value of the overall project. That's our production profile. We're going to be producing about 4.5 million pounds a year. And of course, the mine life is going to be extended now with the new fees. You're going to see that. Here's a few pictures. I guess my time is slowly running out here. But we've paved the ramp all the way down to the ore body, so we're now at the ore body. I was there 3 weeks ago or so and went underground right to the face, and we are now accessing ore. And of course, we feel this mine is going to be a very long life project, so we're building the mine to be a long life mine. So right now our production schedule is 1,000 tons per day, but this mine is built to be able to handle about 2,500 tons per day through this infrastructure. Just some pictures of us going underground there a couple weeks ago, and we had a big crew there, went to inspect things, and that's a bolter. You see there up on the top right, and down below some of our mine planners there with that paper in his hand, a fellow named Umanja. He's explaining what we're doing underground, but this is a well-advanced project. Our camp facilities being put together. We're now doubling the size of the camp. We've got 275 people working there right now. That's going up to about 500 in the next 6 months. So we've got a nationwide recruitment program. We've got a mining school we're setting up in Agadez. So we're going to be training a lot of people. One of the great things that we can talk about is that we've got a fully operational team on board right now. The reason being is that the Uranium mine at Cominac shut down in 2021. So we picked a lot of those operational guys up and put them into Global Atomic and our local company called Somida. And so we are up and running. And I think that's putting us far ahead of many others out there. So 24, 25, 26, I won't read through all of that, but it's effectively to complete the construction of our plant. We are entertaining and discussing more offtake agreements with various utilities around the world, and so we expect to be doing more of that, signing up additional offtake agreements. The banks wanted us to have about 1.5 million pounds signed up so that they know that they're going to get their money back. And so we have done that. We've got about 1.5 million pounds a year for the next 5 years contracted out of a total 4.5 million production profile. So we still have a lot of room. The contracts are basically blended pricing using spot, midterm, long-term price. So we're probably in the range of $80 to $82 on the first couple. We have some floating contract on number 3. To let us take advantage of prices going up past $100. Of course, as we do more contracting, we'll layer in as we go forward. This is another shot of the camp there, and that's, of course, all going through a big expansion now. But just on our ESG, and I know Mr. Baird talked about pushback on ESG these days at board level. However, since we've been in Niger for almost 20 years, we've been doing a lot in the country. So we supply food during drought periods. We supply medical supplies. We drill water wells. and we do a lot of education and training programs. And of course, the development banks that are involved now putting the project financing together, they've audited all of these things that we've been doing, and we got a big green check mark. So everybody's very happy with what we do locally. We have total buy-in with the local communities. Of course, with Cominac shutting down, they really like the fact that there's a new project here, and that we're Canadians, frankly, and that we do things a little differently than the old European colonialists. So everybody's very excited. For Niger, there's big revenue stream here. So they get royalties, taxes, recruitment of local labor, training, mentorship programs, the whole thing. So at the end of the day, by the time you pay 30% corporate tax plus your royalties there, you know, the company and the country sort of balance out on what they make on this project. So we have full government support. They want to get this thing in production as soon as possible, particularly with Cominac shut down. And they really like the fact that we're employing all these people, and 98% of our workforce are locals. We have a few expats there, but there's a lot of talent in the country. Just a few shots of community support there. The bottom left is an interesting shot. That's a water well that we drilled, and we put the water tank up. There's some community engagement. The primary group of people in the region are Tuaregs. So you can see they look like desert people. And that's the way they dress out there, so they don't inhale a lot of sand. Uranium market, I think everybody knows about that. We really expect this is going to continue to move forward. There's a lot of reactors being built around the world, and of course, there's very little uranium out there. After Fukushima, basically nobody was doing much exploration for uranium. Now it's starting to gain some momentum, but as I mentioned, I've been there 20 years. It takes a long time to drill, develop, finance a mine. This is not something you can do overnight. That's a shot of our zinc plant. That's a brand new facility, as I mentioned. That's a 3.6 meter diameter kiln that runs at about 1100 degrees. It volatilizes the zinc in the scrap that we feed it, and then we condense that and produce a 65 to 70% zinc concentrate. It's shipped from our own port facility that we share with the steel mills, and it goes to Europe. I wish the zinc price was a little higher again, but anyway, you can see down there below Global Atomic share of the JV EBITDA. So from 2017, the project's been running since 2009, but we put in a few numbers here. So, you know, there's 10 million, 13 million. So it provided some pretty good years of revenue. 2023, we're going to lose some money because it was shut down for half the year because of the earthquakes. So this year coming up, 2024, should be back in a profit again. Some of our directors and board, all experienced people, including the CEO of Befesa Zinc, our partner in Turkey. I won't read through all these names. They're all on our website. Fergus, I will mention, he used to be our manager up at Denison Mines, Elliott Lake Mine. My background was with Denison. My father started that company. So I really cut my teeth as a miner underground at Denison. Executive team, likewise, lots of good people here, experience in finance and mining. And this is our management team in Niger. Moussa Souley used to be the CEO at Cominac, and Fabien Sawyer, Maman Issa were the finance director and HR. They were all from Cominac, these guys. And we beefed up the team with a bunch of others here. You see John Wheeler, he just came to us from the Siama mine in Mali. So these are all people that have a lot of good West African experience, and we're running the mine right now. This is as of January 31. It needs to be updated. Yesterday there was a huge amount of volume at month end. Probably some funds rebalancing. But yeah, we're in the 670 to 700 million market cap right now. But I think as we continue moving forward, that's going to continue to move up. I think the big catalysts coming up in the next few months are, one, the feasibility study coming out, and also the bank financing being done. Niger, big uranium producer, dropped to 7th. I think we're going to bring them back up to 4th or 5th once we get going. But and the government's got a 20% interest. They have to fund 10% of that. They get 10% free carry. So that's the story, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.